Hello and welcome back to the Health and Safety Digest, a special podcast by Astutis. I'm your host, a digital content writer for Astutis, Toby Howell, and I'll be your guide through this voyage of health, safety, and environmental training. Today, we're bringing you a fantastic interview with Fiaz Rahman, an international learner who studied the NEBOSH International Diploma with Astutis. And we wanted to understand why he chose Astutis, what he thought of the overall experience. And we split this up into two different episodes. You'll be hearing the first today. And we talk into topics about his journey prior to his studies, why he chose Astutis, and his thoughts on the overall experience. The next episode, which will be coming out next week, will dive deeper into what he thought about the course and whether he would recommend it to other international learners. So without further ado, let's get into our chat with Fiaz. We are delighted to be joined by Fiaz Rahman, someone who is part of the international Astutis family. Fiaz has studied his international diploma for occupational health and safety management professionals with us, and he is here to talk to us today about his training experience with Astutis. So I'd like to say a massive welcome to you, Fiaz. How are you today?
Thank you so much. I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Much better now that you're here on the program with us, Fiaz. I would like to ask, first of all, could you tell us about your occupancy and what you do for a living?
Actually, it all started in 2014 when I graduated. I completed my graduation in mining engineering. The world changed for me. Actually, when you switch from being a student to being a professional, things got changed. So when I graduated, I was searching for jobs. I was looking for many opportunities. I got some, and I kicked off my professional career. But very soon, I realized that I was not getting the job that I dreamt of. So after few months of my graduation, I heard about NEBOSH. I had no idea what NEBOSH is up until 2015. I had literally no idea. And I heard it from one of my uncle, and he is very dear to me. I consider him as my mentor. And he told me about NEBOSH. I searched for it, and I started getting more and more information what NEBOSH is. At the start, I thought it's a course or it's kind of a certification. But when I digged into it, I realized that it's actually an educational board. So when I searched more and more, I got many information about IGC, International General Certificate. When I was reading about IGC and the case studies of IGC, and there were many professionals who were sharing their success stories, I got interested. It got me interested into NEBOSH IGC. So in 2015, I started studying for International General Certificate while working. I was working, and I was also studying for my NEBOSH International General Certificate.
Right.
And in December 2015, I joined a learning partner for NEBOSH International General Certificate in Pakistan, and I started studying NEBOSH IGC. In 2016, I appeared for the exam, and I was 2 marks short of distinction.
Oh.
When I was studying for IGC, I got 208 marks out of 300, and I realized that if I had got 2 more marks, it would be distinction. But as it was a new thing for me, it was totally a new thing for me, and it got me interested. So the sooner I got my NEBOSH IGC certificate, literally my professional career got changed. I received a job invitation from a Chinese company who are working here on a hydropower project, and I joined them as an HSE blasting engineer, because in mining engineering degree, my major was blasting, commercial blasting, not the other blasting. So I joined them as an HSE blasting engineer. I worked there for 4 months, only 4 months, not much, because during those 4 months, I received another job opportunity from Saudi Arabia. You might have heard of Saudi Aramco, and there was a leading contracting company, BRCAT International. It's a Lebanese company, and I joined them in Feb 2017. I spent 2 years there, and by the time I was going to Saudi Arabia, because that was the first time I was moving out of Pakistan, so I had few plans for myself that I will be achieving certain kind of things in the next 2 years. If I achieve those, I will be coming back to Pakistan. If I don't achieve, I will stay there, and I will work to achieve all those things. The first and the basic thing was to getting my NIBOSH International Diploma. That was
Right.
my first goal, and which I set that I will be going to Saudi Arabia, so I will achieve these things. And the other goals were related to my family because I belong to a middle class family, so I had certain things to do for my family too. So when I went there, and I met health and safety practitioners there, and there was one of my fellow. He was from India. He was a very different. He is a very good friend and a very great colleague of mine. We used to study for NIBOSH International Diploma together. We used to sit because he had textbooks. I had no study material for NIBOSH International Diploma. So we would request to our supervisor that, sir, kindly send us to a same location so that we can sit there, work, and also sit there, and we will be discussing about our course, NIBOSH International Diploma, and other kind of things.
Fantastic.
So we used to study there. We used to sit there and we used to study. My working hours were from 6 a.m. in the morning till 6 p.m. in the evening. I used to work 12 hours in Saudi Arabia, and the temperature was from 50 to 60. It was ranging from degrees Celsius.
Wow.
So yeah, so I was there as a site HSC officer. I joined there as a site HSC officer, but after 1 year, when I started my NIBOSH International Diploma, after 1 year, I was promoted to a senior HSC officer, which means that I was promoted from site to the office. It was a good thing from me, and that was also because of just enrollment into NIBOSH International Diploma. Just because of enrolling into NIBOSH International Diploma, my supervisor moved me from site to office, and he would request me that you will be sitting with me, you will be studying for a NIBOSH International Diploma, and you will be working on my official things. So I said, okay. I got enrolled for NIBOSH International Diploma in 2018 with the Astudis, and appeared for two of my modules, Unit A and Unit C, in January 2019, and for Unit C back in Pakistan in July 2019. And after that, the things were going very smooth. And then I moved to Canmos College, another accredited learning partner, and I am currently working as a manager and lead tutor for NIBOSH International General Certificate in Canmos College. And Alhamdulillah, I'm doing good. Now, when I go few years back to 2015, the decision that I took to appear for NIBOSH International General Certificate instead of pursuing my degree, I feel proud of myself that was a brave decision, because each and every of my colleague, they used to tell me, what are you doing? You have spent 4 years pursuing this degree, and now you are switching from your Pakistan's degree to another certification. So it was kind of a brave decision, but I feel proud of myself.
You took a gamble, and now it's paying off.
It's paying off. It's paying off
Fantastic.
great.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that, Fiaz. And it sounds like you've been through quite, a whirlwind of a career thus far, and hopefully that can continue. So as you were saying then, that you studied the IGC, but then you studied the IDIP, the International Diploma with Astutis. What can you tell us about your experience there? Because I'm very intrigued to hear about how our international learners get on with our courses. So I'm just very intrigued to see how you found the experience.
Experience with Astutis for NIBOSH International Diploma had been great. That was the best thing that happened to me during my academics career. I can say that because I have been in touch with many of course providers for NIBOSH International Diploma by the time I was getting enrolled. I'm kind of a person who does a lot of research before going somewhere. So when by the time I was getting enrolled for NIBOSH International Diploma, I had many options. I had options from Pakistan. I had options from UK. I had options from UAE, and many options. And if I name them, I would not like name them. So, I had many options. I had many options, and I contacted around 4 to 5 of them. I contacted 4 to 5 of them, but during those contacts, I did not contact anyone from S2Ts. I did not contact. I just opened S2T's website and I read about them. And there was a case study. I don't remember the name, but there was a case study about one of NIBOSH International Diploma students who appeared for International Diploma with S2Ts. And when I studied that case study, I was really moved by that case study only. And that was a learner. I was really very moved. So I I I was reading more and more about S2Ts. And one day from my work site, I called Jay Gabriel. I told him, I did not ask him what will be the package, how will I have to pay, what is the students, I want to know about NIBOSH International Diploma. No, because I had each and every information that I needed. I just gave him a call. Brother, I want to get enrolled for NIBOSH International Diploma. Kindly tell me the procedure. And he sent me an invoice that this will be the invoice, this will be the installment plans if you want to get enrolled. I sent him the money and I got enrolled. And after that, I was expecting less. I was not expecting more. I was enrolled with the Astutis for as a distance learner, not as an online learner, but as a distance learner. So what I was expecting that Astutis will be just sending me books in PDF form, and I will be studying those books. And by the end of my preparation, I will send them an email that I want to get registered for the exam, and so they will just enroll me. But during that tenure, there were many webinars from S2Ds. I was not expecting those. I thought these will be only for online learners. But there were many webinars, and the first webinar that I attended with S2Ds was your very own technical director. So,
Brennick Moore,
and
yes.
yeah, Brenning Moore, I respect him a lot. I respect him a lot because I've learned so many things. And those webinars were very much helpful. Why? Because from those webinars, what we used to do, we were not studying, but we were attempting certain questions from past exams. So we will be practicing more and more questions, how to answer these things, what will be the points that you will be covering in. Yes. So those webinars were very much helpful for me. And while during those webinars, I got the idea that if I had appeared for NIBOSH International Journal Certificate with S2Ds, I might have gotten those 2 marks, which I was short of. because many of my what do you say complications were cleared because of those webinars on how to attempt the exam actually. And a part of those webinars, there were also mock exams for each and every unit. So I would solve those mock exams. I would submit those mock exams to my tutor. They will mark them, and once I will be looking at those things, those mock exams and the feedback from the examiners, my concepts were getting more and more clear about how to solve the question and how to approach each and every question so that it will be easy so to get through this exam. So S2Ds helped me a lot in every regard. Every tutor was helpful. There was quick response from every tutor. If I had any query about any of the topic or how to solve the exam, course material was very well explanatory and easy to understand. The basic thing is how you understand the course. Sometimes most of the people, they write it very complicated. Even it's difficult for a graduate person to understand the idea. English is not our first language, so most of the time we will be opening a dictionary. But throughout my NIBOSH International Diploma, I did not use any dictionary for that because course material was very much explanatory and easy to understand. Mock exams, as I told you, mock exams and exam preparation session were very much helpful. And one thing that I am till this date obliged for S2 is that they arranged my Unit C exam in my home country, in Pakistan, for free of cost. They did not charge me any extra amount for even for a British Council registration fee, and they arranged that exam in my hometown, which was not possible because the British Council guy they told me that it is the first time that any of NIBOSH international diploma exams had been arranged in this hometown, because your course provided that they wanted ease for you, so they paid extra. So I don't know how students did that, but uh, that moved me a lot. And the credit goes to students that I am what I am right now, and all the credit goes to students.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that you had a very, very positive experience. And you referenced Jay Gabriel there, a very good friend of mine and of yours, working very, very hard in the international office. And it's fantastic to hear that you've had a great experience with webinars and mock exams. I think preparation, I think the entire business thinks that preparation is key when it comes to very, very important exams and assessments. So I'm very, very happy to hear that. We would like to extend a massive thank you to Fiaz for joining us on the Health and Safety Digest. But worry not, that was only part one. Part two will be flooding the airwaves in no time at all. But like I said, a massive thank you to Fiaz. And when we speak to him next, we'll be discussing the course in more depth and what he thought about the materials, how he thought about the examination process, and generally going into a deep dive on the International Diploma for Occupational Health and Safety Management Professionals from NIBOSH. So until next time, thank you very much for listening. You can find us on all social platforms by just typing in Astutis on your computer, and you can find us there. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me directly at toby.howell@astutis.com, and we will answer any questions here on the show. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Speak to you next time.